Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much. Let's get started. Devils fans, please don't get mad with the video with the thumbnail and what I'm about to talk about. Yeah, it's a sour subject whenever Parise is mentioned in the same sentence as the Devils, but I found this is very interesting because before the NHL season went on pause, they were talking about the cap going up to 84 million to 88 million being the high. And, when the NHL did go on pause, they were saying that because it's going to, financially hurt the NHL and all the teams, instead of raising the cap, they might do a compliance buyout, which any team can buy out one bad contract that, they have on their team that would help their cap if they can alleviate themselves of that. So I automatically thought about this. The Devils need wingers. The Islanders try to look at Parise during the trade deadline. His name popped up with them, and the Minnesota Wild are talking about possibly one of the names being mentioned with the Wild is Zach Parise. So let's discuss this a little bit. Zach Parise, he's 36. He's going to be 36 come July 28th. So he's going to be an older player, and but he still could play. And I'll talk about his stats a little later. He's still a serviceable player to the team. It's just a matter of dollars, years, and age that is the reason why Parise's name keeps coming up. The Wild have Ryan Suter, who could be one of those options, as he has the same exact contract that Parise has. But, for a defenseman to put up 48 points, very hard to relieve him of, that certain position. So I don't think Ryan Suter will be the person that's bought out. Then you look around their roster and you see Matt Zuccarello. Matt Zuccarello's got another 5 more years at $6 million. So he's one of those options that could be bought out. But he's younger than Parise. He's still got his legs. He can still produce. And, he has one less year than Parise and about $2.53 million less than what Parise has. So, dollars and cents wise, Parise is just a higher cap for more years. So that's why he may be the one bought out by the Minnesota Wild. So why did I mention the Islanders in this case? The Islanders were really looking hard to acquire Parise before the trade deadline. You heard the day that the trade deadline came, you heard his name going to the Islanders. You're like, what? Why would they go after him? Their cap situation was very tight. They had just made the trade a couple of days later for Andy Green. And, I didn't think they had much cap left. So it'd be one of those deals that a lot of moving parts would have to be made. And they couldn't come to it in time for this to happen. And, Parise showed a lot of interest that he wanted to come to the Islanders. And he said that after that whole situation happened, it was hard to play with the players on his team. Knowing that he wanted to go there and knowing that his name was out there to be moved, it's hard to go back into the locker room and, with all your players and everything. So, it was just a very interesting scenario because the Islanders situation going into this offseason, they have to re-sign RFAs Matthew Barzal, Taves, and Pulak, and they're going to cost a pretty penny. So, as of now, they have 3.10 cap space, and they could always make other trades and everything, and, they have other UFAs coming off the books this year, so they'll have more than that. But I think their compliance buyout will definitely be Andrew Ladd. There's no question about that. You look at their contract situation, they got a lot of players locked into long-term deals at a pretty high dollar amount. Him and Boychuk kind of make the most sense to me. Boychuk is $6 million for another 3 years, but Boychuk still serves a purpose with the Islanders. He's still that right-handed, rugged defenseman that he still plays pretty well, although he's been injured the last couple of years. But I think they'll definitely do out Andrew Ladd. Andrew Ladd has 4 more years at $5.5 million AAV. The trade really never worked out with these teams. I mean, the signing never worked out with these teams, and he's been injured very often with his contract and not played a lot. So I definitely think that they'll do that. But do the Islanders make sense at getting Parise? Parise will come pretty cheap, I'm assuming. He's still going to be getting paid $7.53 from the Wild. So I think he'll be pretty cheap on his next deal. He's not going to be a long-term cap hit, as he's probably going to get like a 1 or 2 year deal, being that he's going to be 36 this offseason. So it's just a big question mark why Lamoriello wanted to do this. I know the trade they were trying to work out was Andrew Ladd for Parise and other moving parts, but it's just when Lou wants someone, he's gonna get him. And Parise has that lineage with his dad having played with the Islanders. Maybe he may want to do that as another thing that feels that connection with his dad, because I know his dad's loss was very hard for him. But I don't know. It was one of those situations where you're scratching your head as to why Lamoriello and the Islanders would go after Parise, and now it would make perfect sense if they wanted to redo that. It'd be the best option to do it this year, where you're not losing much, but you're they were losing that contract anyway, but they're not losing much to get him, and he'll come relatively cheap. So could the Islanders do it? Is a big question mark. When Lou wants someone, he always goes for him, and will he try in the summer? Then I know a lot of Devils fans are going to ask me, why are you mentioning the Devils and Parise? And, it's a sour subject with us mentioning his name. He hurt our feelings when he left. I know a lot of Devils fans were bitter about this. A lot of fans knew the reality of it, how he was getting older and he had bad knee injuries, bad leg injuries, and was he worth the next dollar amount that he was going to get on his next contract? And, being that we gave all that money to Kovalchuk before Parise, he felt slighted, wanted to leave. And I know it was more to be closer to his family, which I totally understand. As the years went on, a lot of Devils fans came to, know that the contract was bad, because look at the position that Minnesota's in now. They're looking to get rid of his contract. So it's one of those things where it stung at first. It really did, because he's a fan favorite. He really is. He was a great Devil. He was just a great Devil. He put up a lot of points. He was a heart and soul player. One of those rugged players that scored every which way. Good team guy. And, a lot of the teammates loved him. So it was hard to lose him, but we knew the reality that his next contract would sting going into his later years. So, let's just talk about what he's done. This past year, he's still producing at a good clip. 2019, 2020, he played in 69 games, and that's the amount of games that a lot of teams played before the NHL went on pause. He had 25 goals, 21 assists for 46 points. Last year, he played in 74 games, not bad. Scored 28 goals, 33 assists, 61 points. 2017, 2018, he played in 42 games, and that was the year he really got hurt. I believe it was his back. 15 goals, 19 assists, 24 points. And 2016, 2017, he played in 69 games, 19 goals, 23 assists, 42 points. So he could still play. He could still get you those 20 goals, 40-something plus points. This year I think he would have really definitely got into the 50-point range, maybe close to 60 if they played the full, 82 games. But, it'd just be very interesting, because when you're looking at our lineup, our first line is probably going to be Hischier and Palmieri, and then a question mark at the left wing. You have Hughes, Kuokkanen, and a question mark at that right wing. Then you have Gusev, Zacha, and Bratt, and I love that line. Don't want to break it up. Then our fourth line will probably be Zajac, Anderson, and Wood if he's still here. There's a lot of question marks with him, as he was trade bait earlier this year. So I don't know what our GM's going to want to do this offseason. Who our GM is, I don't know. But then you have players like Foote. Is he ready to come into the NHL? You have Merkley, you have McLeod, you have Bashin, you have Rooney, you have Cini. Who comes back, who stays. Who they could think of pulling out from the AHL to make this team, or, if they go out and get some UFA forward to fill those other slots. But I think Parise would be a good option here. He has familiarity playing with, not necessarily Zajac going to be on fourth line, but, he'll probably be up and down. But he has familiarity playing with Parise. They played a long time together. Could he fit on that left side with him? Could he play with Hischier on the first line with Palmieri? That'd be pretty interesting. So I know he's an older guy. I know he's 36. I know Fitzgerald, if he's the GM, kind of said they want to go younger, wanted to go with more NHL-ready bodies, and Parise's total opposite of that. But, he's still a useful player. He's still one of those players we need to score those dirty goals in front of the net. He could score every which way. He's still got his speed. And, he's lost a little bit, though, I'll admit. And I'm not necessarily looking to get him, but, it'd just be an interesting option for him to close out his career where it started. And I know a lot of Devils fans would love that. I know a lot of Devils fans might hate that. And my intention wasn't to do that in this video. I just thought it'd be pretty interesting, as his name will be out there for a lot of teams if they want to decide to go for him in free agency, if he is the player chosen from the Wild to be bought out. So I still think we need a couple of wingers, possibly two, if they don't look to allude to get anybody that's in our systems not ready, or if they need to get a UFA player or something like that. I think the Devils need a couple of wingers this offseason. So could he be one of them? Comment below, let me know what you think. And as always, thank you all for watching. Please be safe out there. Please like the video. It helps it, circulate more on YouTube. If you like it, if you subscribe to the channel, if you comment, do all that, please. Thank you so much. Have a great night. Have a great day tomorrow, and take care.